In today's society, pleasing others is often seen as a measure of kindness and care. However, is every effort to satisfy others genuinely motivated by goodwill? Or is it a subtle trap that unintentionally causes us to abandon our true selves? Have you ever felt exhausted from constantly trying to meet the expectations of those around you? Have you ever questioned whether you have lost your values while catering to others? The truth is, always striving to please others can lead to a life controlled by social pressures, causing us to lose our unique identity and sense of direction. But how can you break this cycle? How can you live according to your values without being swayed by external judgments? Stoicism, with its ancient yet powerful teachings, offers a solution. Instead of constantly seeking to satisfy everyone, we can learn to set boundaries, prioritize our values, and confidently say no when necessary. Join us as we explore practical methods to free yourself from the pressure of pleasing others and embark on a journey toward true inner freedom and happiness. Method 1. Set clear boundaries. One of the critical steps to stop excessively pleasing others is learning to set clear boundaries in your relationships. Boundaries protect your time and space and are a powerful tool for maintaining your values and principles. Often, when we lack clear boundaries, others may unknowingly overstep, taking up our time and energy without realizing the harm they cause. For instance, you might constantly agree to help colleagues with tasks that aren't yours simply because you feel pressured to appear friendly and helpful. As a result, you may need more time for your work or critical personal projects, leading to stress and a sense of losing control. To avoid this, you must establish clear boundaries and know when to say no. This doesn't mean you're selfish or insensitive. It's about respecting and protecting yourself. For example, if a colleague asks for help while you're busy with your work, instead of agreeing immediately, you could say, "I'd love to help, but I need to finish my work first. Can we discuss this after hours?" This way, you protect your time while maintaining a positive relationship with your colleague. Setting boundaries also helps you define your limits and communicate to others that you're not willing to compromise your values just to please them. It enables you to maintain self-respect and fosters mutual respect in your relationships. When you consistently uphold your boundaries, others will understand and learn to respect you more. In summary, setting clear boundaries is an act of self-love and self-protection that allows you to live in alignment with your values. It ensures that you don't get caught in the unconscious cycle of pleasing others, but instead, you live a meaningful and purpose-driven life based on what you truly value. Method 2. Prioritize your own needs. In a world full of pressures and demands from all directions, prioritizing your own needs is often misunderstood as selfishness. However, if you don't take care of yourself, it will be challenging to maintain the mental and physical health needed to support others. This is your right and your responsibility to your own life. Imagine you're on a plane that suddenly encounters turbulence. The oxygen masks drop down, and you're instructed to put on your mask before helping others. Why? You need to ensure your safety first before you can assist anyone else. Similarly, you need to prioritize your needs to live fully and may feel drained. For example, if you always prioritize others' work over your personal goals, you may gradually lose the passion and motivation to accomplish what is important to you. You might spend too much time helping colleagues with their problems, not realizing this delays your projects. As a result, you feel stressed, exhausted, and dissatisfied with your life. Prioritizing your own needs doesn't mean ignoring others. It means being aware of your limits. When you set boundaries and focus on what truly matters, you'll have the energy and mental clarity to do meaningful things. Instead of constantly chasing others' expectations, ask yourself, what truly brings me happiness and satisfaction? When you find the answer, you can live a life aligned with your values and principles. Ultimately, prioritizing your needs is about taking control of your life. When you care for yourself, you live a more fulfilling life and can help others more effectively. By doing so, you will feel happier, and those around you will also benefit from the positive energy and balance you create. Method 3. Understand the root cause. The first and most crucial step to stop excessively pleasing others is understanding the deep-rooted reasons behind this behavior. The drive to meet others' expectations often stems from kindness or concern and underlying fears that we may not be fully aware of. For instance, you might fear rejection or worry about being judged. Painful past experiences, such as being excluded or unaccepted, can create a strong need to please others to feel safe and loved. Or perhaps you grew up in an environment where pleasing others was seen as the standard of kindness and care, leading you to believe it's the only way to build and maintain relationships. Identifying and confronting these fears is essential to break free from this cycle. Ask yourself, why do I feel compelled to please others? What worries me about saying no? These questions can help you better understand your inner motivations and start the journey of freeing yourself from social pressure. By recognizing that the fear of rejection or criticism is just a product of the mind, you can begin to shift your perspective. When you understand the root cause of this behavior, you'll be better equipped to manage your emotions and reactions, moving closer to a life of true freedom where your values take center stage. Method 4. Identify your values. Identifying your values is a crucial process that helps you break free from the cycle of pleasing others and live a meaningful life. When you are clear about what matters most, you are less likely to be swayed by external pressures and can make decisions that align with your true self. Your values are like a compass that guides your actions and decisions. If you need clarification on your values, you may be easily influenced by others' expectations, sometimes compromising on things that go against your principles. For example, if you value honesty but agree to participate in a project you know lacks transparency, you will feel conflicted and lose self-respect. Another example is when you haven't identified your values, you might easily say yes to requests you don't want to fulfill. This can lead to dissatisfaction and even stress when you find yourself doing things that conflict with your principles or personal preferences. On the other hand, if you know that your core values are independence and creativity, you'll have the confidence to decline work or relationships that don't fit, focusing instead on what truly brings you joy and fulfillment. Identifying your values also helps you avoid the guilt of refusing inappropriate requests. You'll be more confident and less concerned about what others think when you understand that saying no is a way to protect your values. This also helps you build self-respect and confidence in your abilities. Ultimately, identifying your values may be difficult and sometimes requires the courage to face internal conflicts and societal pressures. However, once you've identified the most important values, you'll live a life with clear goals and purpose, no longer chasing others' expectations. You'll realize that living true to your values is the path to real happiness and fulfillment. Method 5. Face conflict rationally. Conflict is an inevitable part of any relationship, but how we handle conflict determines the quality of our lives and relationships. Instead of fearing or avoiding conflict, approaching it with reason and calmness can help you resolve issues more effectively while protecting your values. Many try to avoid conflict at all costs, fearing that disagreeing with others will damage the relationship. However, when you constantly strive to please others to avoid conflict, you readily sacrifice your principles and needs. This not only leads to frustration, but also erodes your confidence and self-respect. A different approach views conflict as an opportunity for mutual understanding and strengthening relationships. Imagine you have a differing opinion from your colleagues on executing a project. Instead of silently accepting their view to avoid conflict, you could express your perspective politely but clearly. You might say, "I understand your point, but I think we should also consider this approach, as it might lead to better results for the project." This way, you protect your opinion while opening up a discussion that could lead to the best solution for everyone involved. When you face conflict rationally, you also assess the value of the relationship. That relationship isn't worth maintaining if someone only accepts you when you always agree with them and cannot handle differences. Conversely, if both parties can discuss and resolve conflicts constructively, the relationship will become more vital and profound. In summary, conflict isn't a sign of failure or a lack of success in a relationship, but a natural part of life. Handling conflict rationally helps you protect your values and builds more genuine and enduring relationships. View each conflict as an opportunity to grow and better understand yourself and others. Method 6. Learn to say no. Learning to say no is an essential skill that many people struggle to master. We often face requests from family, friends, and colleagues. However, if you continually say yes to please others, you'll quickly feel overwhelmed and lose control of your life. Saying no doesn't mean you don't care about others. Instead, it's a way to protect your values and valuable time. When you refuse an inappropriate request, you prioritize your needs and interests, helping you maintain balance and focus on what's truly important. For instance, if a colleague asks you to help them complete a task over the weekend, but you've already planned to spend time with your family, saying no may be necessary. You could decline politely but firmly, "I'm sorry, but I already have plans this weekend. Can we schedule the work for next week?" This response protects your time with your family and shows that you respect yourself and the other person. Learning to say no also helps you avoid the regret of agreeing to do something you didn't want to do. When you refuse decisively and clearly, you uphold your values and build self-respect and confidence. This helps you control your life better and avoid falling into the cycle of regret and stress. Ultimately, saying no is vital to self-care and living true to your values. When you dare to refuse requests that don't align with your goals, you'll feel more liberated and able to focus on your natural desires and objectives. This is an essential step toward living a meaningful, fulfilling life, free from the pressure to please others. Method 7. Evaluate requests. When faced with requests from others, we often tend to agree without much thought, especially when we want to maintain good relationships or fear disappointing someone. However, carefully evaluating each request before committing is crucial to protect your time, energy, and personal values. Continuously agreeing to help others without careful consideration can lead to burnout and a loss of control. For example, if a colleague frequently asks for your help with tasks they can handle, you might feel overwhelmed and unable to manage your work. This affects your productivity and leaves you feeling frustrated and needing more autonomy. You must learn to pause and evaluate each request carefully to avoid this. Ask yourself, is this request critical to me? Does it align with my goals and values? If the answer is no, politely but firmly decline. This helps you protect your time and energy and focus on what truly matters. For instance, if a close friend asks you to help organize a personal event over the weekend, but you've planned to spend time with your family, consider whether helping is necessary and aligns with your priorities. If it doesn't, you can decline by saying, "I'd love to help, but I've already made plans with my family this weekend. I hope you understand, and maybe we can find another time to catch up." Evaluating requests doesn't mean you don't care about others. It means taking care of yourself and upholding your values. When you learn to distinguish between what you can and should do, you'll feel more in control and less pressured by inappropriate demands. This helps you maintain a balanced, meaningful life where each decision comes from careful consideration and respect for yourself. Method 8. Avoid giving reasons when refusing. When you decline a request, you might feel pressured to give a reason to justify your decision. However, this can sometimes put you in a more difficult position as it opens the door to arguments and might even weaken your resolve. Instead of feeling obliged to explain, try refusing simply and directly. When you provide a reason for your refusal, others may try to convince you to change your mind or adjust their request to make it harder for you to decline. For example, suppose you say you can't attend an event because of work. In that case, the host might suggest changing the time or rearranging plans to accommodate you, unintentionally creating pressure and making it harder for you to stick to your decision. Instead of offering reasons, you can politely decline, "Thank you for inviting me, but I won't be able to attend this time." This response shows respect for the other person while clarifying that your decision is final without leaving room for debate. Another example is when a colleague asks for help with a task outside work hours. Instead of saying you're busy with family or have other plans, you could simply say, "Sorry, I can't help this time." By refusing straightforwardly and without explanation, you help others understand that your decision is final and doesn't require further discussion. Avoiding reasons when refusing isn't disrespectful. It's about protecting control over your life and maintaining self-respect. You don't need to justify every decision, especially when it could lead to unnecessary stress and discomfort. Remember, you have the right to say no without explanation, which will help you stay confident and authentic in all situations. Method 9. Accept that you can't please everyone. One of the most important lessons you must learn to break free from the cycle of pleasing others is accepting that you can't please everyone. This is an inevitable truth and a crucial step toward living a life true to your values and principles. Many people spend their entire lives trying to be liked and accepted by everyone, but not everyone will agree with you, no matter how hard you try. When you strive to please everyone, you lose yourself in the process. You may feel like you're walking a tightrope, constantly worrying about what others think or how they feel about you. Imagine you're working in a team and have a different opinion from most members. If you always try to agree with them just to avoid conflict, you'll never have the chance to be heard or express your actual perspective. On the other hand, if you accept that you can't always please everyone, you'll feel freer to express your opinions and stand firm in your beliefs. Accepting that you can't please everyone reduces stress and anxiety and opens the door to personal growth. When you focus on living according to your values and principles, you'll attract people who respect and accept you for who you are rather than trying to change to meet others' expectations. A clear example is Socrates, the ancient Greek philosopher sentenced to death for refusing to please the masses and the authorities. Instead of abandoning his beliefs for safety, he chose to live true to his philosophy and values, even if it meant facing death. Socrates demonstrated that living according to your truth is far more important than trying to please everyone. In the end, remember that being unable to please everyone isn't a failure but a sign of freedom and maturity. When you stop trying to meet everyone's expectations and start focusing on what truly matters to you, you'll find inner peace and deep satisfaction. Method 10. Start with small challenges. If changing your mindset and behavior to stop pleasing others feels daunting, don't worry. You can start with small challenges. These small steps help you build confidence and lay a solid foundation for more significant changes in the future. Changing deeply ingrained habits isn't something that happens overnight. Imagine you're used to saying yes to every request from colleagues, family, or friends. Suddenly, saying no might make you feel anxious or uncomfortable. Instead of trying to change entirely immediately, you can start by declining small requests you don't want to fulfill. For example, If a friend invites you for coffee after work, but you're tired and want to go home and rest, try politely declining, "Thanks for the invite, but I need to rest today. Maybe another time?" This simple action helps you realize that saying no isn't as scary as you might think and doesn't have the severe consequences you might have imagined. As you start with small challenges like these, you'll gradually build confidence in saying no and feel more comfortable setting clear boundaries. Each time you decline a small request that doesn't fit your time or needs, you strengthen your ability to make decisions and take control of your life. Over time, you'll find that refusing larger requests or saying no to things that don't align with your values becomes more accessible. You'll no longer feel pressured to please everyone around you. Instead, you'll focus on what truly matters and has meaning for you. These small steps help you break free from the cycle of pleasing others and bring you closer to a life of freedom and happiness, where you can live true to your values and natural desires. Conclusion: breaking free from the habit of excessively pleasing others is not easy, but you must live a life of freedom aligned with your values and principles. Understanding the root cause, setting clear boundaries, prioritizing personal needs, learning to say no, and accepting that you can't please everyone. Each step brings you closer to proper self-control and happiness. The key to achieving this lies in starting with small challenges and gradually building confidence and control over your life. When you refuse gracefully without needing to justify yourself, you'll feel relieved and recognize that your decisions are always valuable. Remember, this journey helps protect you from burnout and losing control and allows you to focus on what truly matters to you. Don't be afraid to face conflict rationally and assert your values. Start today with small steps, making your life more balanced, accessible, and fulfilling. You deserve to live a life where you are in control, not driven by external pressures. Take the courageous step towards personal freedom, where every decision is based on your values and desires. Act now to begin your journey toward a life full of meaning and happiness.